Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Mountain Valley Community College. This is for Operating Systems Fall 2017. There are other videos on other things. There's another video that did a course overview that showed like how to get into web study and how we're going to be using it for the semester. There's another video that's has gone through how to do the introduction forum. And so then for the next forum, let's do the 19th, the process of going through and starting a new thread is going to be the same. There will be a separate video that goes through submitting labs. This video is going to focus on submitting homework. And just a reminder, so this video assumes you're already in web study. So just a reminder that the timeline shows the chronology for the semester. And then up top, we also have here the class schedule. And the class schedule, it should be the same information. It's just visually a little bit different. So looking ahead to September 19th, that there is a homework. So Tuesday, September 19th is when the homework on Chapter 1 is due. So we're beginning it on the 13th, and it's going to be due on Tuesday, the 19th. So just a reminder then, so if we're talking about for week 2, that was week 2, right? This is week 2, that there is, in terms of a timeline session, so this timeline session here has an overview of the chapter, so it's a couple sentences. This particular case, there is a video. There is a link to a PDF, but then if we look at the corresponding assignments due 9/19, here's the homework, the lab, and the forum. So again, another video is going to focus on the lab, and then the video from last week, which had on the introduction forum, it's that process still applies, even though the question is going to be different. Okay, sorry for the little blip. I realized I was in instructor mode, and so I had to pause the video. I switched to student mode, and so I have to go back in. Whoops, wrong one. I have to go back in and do that again. So let me go into this homework 1. And now I'm viewing it closer to the way that you would see it as a student. The homeworks for the semester are all formatted the same way, which is why I'm splitting the video, one for homework, one for lab, because the homeworks are all done the same way. And that is, when you open a homework assignment, there is attached to it, well, there's both a docx and an RTF. The docx is what's used by Microsoft. RTF would be if you have another editor. So let's say you're using OpenOffice, you can download the RTF file. But the idea is you download whatever is appropriate for whichever one you're using. So let me take this one right here, which is the homework chapter 1, and let me, now depending on the browser you're using, it may work a little bit differently, and let me save it. Well, on saving, I can actually go and rename it. So let me call it, I'm going to pretend I'm Homer Simpson, and I'm going to make this Simpson Homer. So as I'm saving it, I can change the file name, and then let me hit save. And let me click on it, which should start Word, and it'll enable editing. Now it's going to vary from week to week, chapter to chapter, exactly how many questions there are. And I know this looks longer than it really is, because really all of this is really one question, list and define. I gave the list for you. But the rule I like to use is a rule of 5. More than 5 questions is onerous for you guys. More than 5 questions is onerous for me to grade. So I try to keep the homeworks just to 5 questions. What the homework will be are review questions. So they're really going to be definitions, list and define. The problem-based portions for the chapters are going to be done in terms of the lab. So that's how I'm going to split out really homework and lab, so that the homework is just going to be review questions. Well, now that I have the file saved, and I should have pointed out, I saved it to a place I knew where I was saving it to. I didn't step through that, but and actually, I'm not going to continue the process. Let me just start to download this one, the other one. But it just so happened I actually have a practice folder under 217 that I'm using, and that's where I had saved the file to. So I'm in this file. Okay, and so the idea is it's fill in the blanks. Well, one blank being, I know it seems silly, but you're going to put your name here. It just helps me a little. And I'm really only looking for like a sentence for each thing. So you have a sentence here for, just defining the basic role, a sentence for file management, a sentence for device management. So you have a sentence for each of the items. And actually, let me take this as sort of a teachable moment. Although the book focuses on batch as being something that was used in the old days, we still have batch. In the sense that we actually can schedule a process to run at a particular time on our computer. Think of virus scan software. We actually can set up the virus scan software to run at a particular time. So the key thing about batch is that it does not require user interaction for programs to run. It can get data from a database or from disk. And then interactive then would be allows user interaction for programs to run. So I just wanted to take this as a moment because yes, there is a point in the book they do talk about the old batch systems where they use punch cards for input, but it doesn't mean that batch doesn't exist now. So scheduling like a virus software. So if you want your virus scan to run every night at 3 a.m., and if you schedule the disk optimization to take place, once a week on a Thursday or something like that, the fact that we actually can schedule something that can run without us running means we still actually have batch. So therefore, a hybrid system, that's really kind of like what Windows is now. It's hybrid because it allows interaction and it also allows processes to run without human interaction. Sorry for going off on a huge tangent, but it's just been over the years, these two questions have frustrated me the most, and I figured let me take the opportunity to at least explain that while we're in here. So I'm sorry for the long tangent. But you would go and fill in something for all of the questions. Now, a key thing is you want to make sure you save before you attach within WebStudy. The idea is, like the stuff that I just typed isn't yet on the hard drive. So I do want to hit save to make sure it's saved to the hard drive. The safest thing to do is to close it as well. Now, actually, I set it up as an icon, but by doing a close, there's no lock. And that's probably something we'll talk about later. But there are locks on files, and when a file is open, actually, again, let me take this as an opportunity. So if I go into this, the folder where I actually have, and let me go and reopen this again. Okay, so this is the homework file that I'm working on, and over here in File Explorer, one thing if you noticed, I actually have in File Explorer show hidden files. And so because I have show hidden files, so view hidden files, then that's why I do see the tilde that's coming out. The other thing I have set up here in File Explorer is file name extensions. So I do see that there's a docx, and there you see there's a .text for the forum intro that I was doing. But the key thing is that this hidden file I wouldn't have seen if I didn't have hidden items on. The other thing is, because this file is open in Word, if I actually come in here and I try to go and to rename this file, now it'll let me start in a sense, but as soon as I try to hit enter, it's saying, no, it can't be completed because the file is open in Word. So one thing I'm trying to show here, and I'm sorry for going off of this tangent, but it's a teachable moment, is that Word has a lock on the file. And because Word has a lock on the file, another process, which in this case is the File Explorer, can't go in and do certain things to the file, such as renaming it. So anyway, that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that before you actually go and attach the file, that you close it. It's the safest thing. There's no lock on the file. And so then when you get ready to upload it in a web study, it's free and clear and everything's there. Okay, back to web study. So here's within that assignment itself. I'll go and click on this tab that says attach files to your assignment. And it looks like I already did a practice once before. I forgot I left the practice here. But now let me go Homer Simpson, chapter 1. Actually, let me go and remove this other one. So since that one doesn't apply, let me go and remove that. So I have the Word document attached to this Homework 1 assignment. This part right here, the text, for homework, you would only type something in here if you want to draw my attention to something. Like let's say I accidentally repeated a question. You might want to point out, by the way, there's 2 number 3s. Those kind of things. So you only have to put something in here if you're trying to draw my attention to it. But again, you do want to make sure that the file is attached. Now I went by hitting the button. You actually can drag and drop into this little part here. That requires a little hand-eye coordination that I don't have. But, well, I'm not going to even try it because, anyway. All right, so down here, here's the key thing. This is like the most important thing. Normally, what people think when you hit submit means you're handing it in, and that's it. In this context, submit just means submitting the form. I don't mean submitting the assignment, submitting the screen. And unless you go and check, send it to instructor for grading, I will not get the assignment. So you have to make sure, unfortunately it's not defaulted, which is a pain for us. You have to make sure you go and click, send it to instructor for grading, and then hit submit. If you don't, it's not submitted. And the thing is, I can't access the file that you have. So the way the system is set up, if you attach a file but don't submit it, so later after the assignment's due, I can't see what you have. So key, make sure you attach your file, click the radio button, send it to instructor for grading, and then hit the submit button. Now I'm not going to actually go through the submit right here because since I'm really a teacher in student mode, things go a little wacky. But that's something that you will do is you will then go and hit the submit button. So let me just jump out of this. What you can do is after an assignment, so if this homework is due the 19th, after the 19th is when I'll grade the homework that has been submitted. And one way you can see your grades is there is a grade tab on the left. You'll be able to traverse down to where you see the homework 1. There should be a little blurb next to it. And then the blurb would actually have the feedback. And usually what I do for homework, I attach a PDF, and the PDF is really the Word document that has been edited, where I went in and I put a few things. Okay, so again, I'm sorry for going off on so many tangents. I'm giving you the real classroom experience by doing this stuff. But again, so for the homework, what all the homeworks will be is there'll be a Word document that's attached. You're going to download the document, change the name of it as you download it, open the document, fill in your wonderful answers, save and close the document, attach the document, and then the most important thing, make sure you click send it to the instructor for grading before you then hit the submit button. And you know, once again, I'm not hitting it. A reminder, by the way, that due date and end dates are 2 different things. This thing says the end date is 9/26, and so you think, okay, well, it's not due until 9/26. It's due 9/19. So when we're glancing here at the homework, the due date is 9/19. The reason why the end date here, that's the last day you can submit it late. So if you submit it on the 26th, it's 7 days late. And so that's what the end date is for. It'll disappear and you can't submit it after September 26th. So be mindful of the due date. The due date for this homework 1 is September 19th. Again, download, fill in the blank, save, close, upload, send it to instructor for grading. Make sure you click that button. All right.